Right, the previous videos have shown how the 9F, which is a 210.0, has found problems with up and down, or should we say level of the track, how horizontal the track is, or how bumpy it is. It's not very forgiving of bumps. It's okay on the straight. So if we have a baseboard join or a bump along the straight, that's fine, it gets over it. But when there is a bump or a bad join on a curve, then there's a probability of derailing the leading set of driving wheels. And the problem isn't noticed straight away, because although the wheels are derailed a little, and the flange might be running on the outside of the rail rather than the inside, the engine itself doesn't come off the track, not until it hits something else such as a point, and then it starts to go the wrong way at the point. Now, that helps with that. Now the next thing is I have a particular 030, this is an 08 diesel shunter, I think it's this one, I'm going to have to try and run them, which is very particular about requiring a good continuity of electrical supply. And I'm going to just run this with some tests, but when I'll run it off camera first, it will run very nice and very slowly because it has very slow gearing. This actually is a DCC model, but it will run on DC as well. Very slow running over insel frog and electrode frog points. Now some of the insel frog points it coats with perfectly well, and others cause it to stall. And so the issue is, let's find out where we've got good and poor electrical continuity with a different type of engine, which finds out those problems. And so far with that 9F, I've only been looking at the outside track, which potentially has the largest curves anyway. We do have a middle track, which I call the down line. So that's the up line is the outside one. The inner ring is the down line. So it's dual track all the way around. And then there's a very tight curve, probably about first stages, or just a bit above, on another track which is the branch, and I wouldn't even attempt, or I might attempt it, but I wouldn't expect the 9F to run on that one. So what you can see there is it all condenses down to 3 tracks: an outer track, the up line, a middle track, the down line, and then an inner track, which is the branch line. And as you can see, the branch line curves round quite sharply to come into a fiddle yard just behind the scenic section rather than behind the operating well. And the inner track, or the branch line, is what gives access to the sidings, which serve 2 purposes. One is an engine shed, and the idea here is it's an engine shed for refueling engines which need to turn around here, and also stabling the station pilot. And then I'm just building 3 small sidings as good sidings so that we can have some good shunting going on. And the expectation when I put these in was I wired them up for DCC, because I thought that would give me the greatest flexibility of operation. However, I am reviewing constantly whether it should all be DCC or a mixture of DC and DCC, and I'll talk about that. A slightly different route this time. Platform 4, which is one of the 2 platforms on the upline. And there is the rails over the baseboard join. So sort that out. And what can I say about the Hornby Railroad 9F itself? Well, my advice would be to get one. It runs beautifully straight from the box. This is barely running yet. Its pulling ability, just in terms of running up or downhill, may leave something to be desired, but as I say, it's not running yet. But even if you just get one for checking how well your track is laid for your medium and large radius curves, then you're checking it with a locomotive with 10 driving wheels, and if it should come flying off the track, you're not damaging your very expensive locomotives. Just amazing value for money. A smooth running locomotive that draws very little current when I say very little current, I've not got the ammeter on it, but just from the setting on the controller.